Tuesday, March 21st, and this is Geeknights. Tonight we talk about the Megaman X Collection and Super Princess Peach. Let's do this! Alright, yesterday I reminded everyone that we had this cool Frapper map, which is basically a Google map, and you put push pins in it if you're a listener of Geeknights, and then everyone can see where all the Geeknights listeners are.
Once again, it's the thing that we forgot about. And
yeah, we made it and we forgot about it until yesterday. So if you go to the frontrowcrew.com on the right side of the page under Scott's links, there's a link to it. But today, because I remembered it, I tried to customize it and add stuff to it.
Oh, really?
And let me tell you something, Frapper actually kind of sucks, like in a coding way.
What'd they do wrong?
There are just SQL errors and PHP errors all over the place when you try to do certain things.
What?
It's just sloppy as hell. Like the shittiest coding of code.
I'll wager I could make you some shittier code.
Oh, there
quick.
could be something worse where it wouldn't work at all. But the point is, it doesn't work well, and some parts of the interface are pretty terrible and uncustomizable. And it's like they made it customizable, but they don't let you do whatever you want. It's not the greatest in the world.
Oh well.
But it's better than it was, and I added some cool stuff, and like I added my Flickr thing to the bottom right, and whatever. It should be a little more pleasant for you to use now. So.
Oh wait, you added the Flickr, so now people can see pictures of us.
Well, no, the things that I've taken pictures of in my Flickr, personal Flickr. So if you had a Flickr, I could add your Flickr down there too.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway. Also, I want to remind everyone about the separate feeds business. If you're still confused about, the fact that we have 4 days a week of podcasting and you can subscribe to just one day or all the days combined.
Yeah, Yahoo Podcasts doesn't seem to quite understand this fact yet.
Well, Yahoo Podcast, or it did at one point and it doesn't. It goes. It's a minute-to-minute type of thing. But now, you can do it on iTunes by searching for Geeknights in the podcast directory, or you can just go to frontrowcrew.com, and I made a giant blog post that explains the whole thing in great detail.
So I swear to God, if you people keep asking for separate feeds after that.
Yeah. It was fine if you asked before, because I could understand I didn't put links on the website. I didn't make it a very publicly known thing.
Yeah, most of the people who subscribe to them seem to do so entirely on their own by finding them somewhere.
Yeah. But now I've written it all up, and you can go do it. So if you only want to listen to one day, go for it.
So in the news, Penny Arcade, of all people, have decided to delve into podcasting.
Well, they're not really podcasting. They're just...
Well, they called it podcasting.
Yeah, it's because they talk about interesting things 3 days a week anyway. It's like, if we have a regularly scheduled interesting conversation, why not record it?
Now... there are actually a lot of answers as to why not. I love Penny Arcade, and they're awesome guys, but they didn't plan this so well.
No, I mean,
all right. Well, first off, it sounds like what Geeknights sounded like. I don't know, a long time ago, before any of you listening now knew it existed.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a microphone sitting in the middle of the room. And, like a $2 microphone, the one that comes with your computer.
The one that's just like a little plastic stick. It's not even a microphone, really.
Yeah, I got a creative one sitting here. That's the one we actually used before.
Wow.
And it was just unlistenable. And it sounds like that's what Penny Arcade did.
Yeah, they just basically turned on this $2 microphone in the middle of the room while they discussed what to make the comic about, and then they turned it off.
Two, I'll say that they don't know anything about audio because I actually, downloaded it and listened to it and looked at the wave. And seriously, if you guys are listening or anything, I'll help you make those waves not suck.
I don't think they actually did anything to the wave. I think
they didn't.
All they did was cut and paste to get the content they wanted, and then they saved it as a wave and converted to an MP3 and uploaded it.
Yeah, I ran about 4 filters on it before I could listen to it.
Yep, but Gabe did make a post just now that he says, we realize we have to bring the audio quality up. We realize we actually need a podcast feed and maybe a BitTorrent or something. And
yeah, what was the deal with the hosting they put it on?
Okay, Penny Arcade is hosted by Speakeasy, which is a hosting company. Speakeasy owns this thing called FileCloud, which is one of those sort of file planety places where you can get a file hosted, and then people can either pay to get it right away or wait in line if they don't want to pay, that sort of thing.
Those horrible kind of avoid them at all costs.
Yeah, so when Penny Arcade has a file like an MP3 or whatever, they just, they're not super techno guys. Well, Tycho is kind of, but not really. But he's only tech as far as gaming computers are concerned, as far as I know. So
it would be hilarious if they tried to use Libsyn.
Yeah.
I don't think Libsyn could handle Penny Arcade's traffic.
Yeah, they said they got, what, like 4,000 something downloads or something.
Libsyn could deal with that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if they do this regularly, I mean, they said, what, like 2 million unique hits a day or something like that?
Oh, who knows? Penny Arcade's insane. But I don't, only a small percentage of those people are going to listen to the podcast, and only a smaller percentage will continue to keep listening.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to harp on their audio, because, I mean, Geeknights sounded just as bad way, way back when we started, 80 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
The secret episodes that I mention periodically, but will never release to the light of day.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, everyone has to learn, and can't rag on them for that. And the content was good, except for one basic glaring thing that was frankly painful to listen to. It's Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Miyamoto.
I think it was Taiko who said it was, what?
Miyamoto.
Shigeru Miyamoto? Yeah, no. If you're supposed to be a professional who knows things, I mean, you make a comic about video games for a living. You don't do anything else.
In fact,
you should be able to say Shigeru Miyamoto.
In fact, they did a comic about it. About him.
And they spelled his name correctly.
They did that comic. It's in the freaking book.
They've been to E3, and they've been, like, near Nintendo's booth. And they must have been there where someone announced his name or Nintendo people said his name. Didn't they notice that those people didn't say it the way they're saying it? What the hell?
But, I mean, other than that, it was actually pretty interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
And honestly, for all you Geeknights people out there, I don't think it would be a regular occurrence, but would you guys like us to at least once record the 20 or 30 minutes of pre-production where we sit here and talk about what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, because that's what the Penny Arcade podcast basically is the pre-production of the comic. It's Gabe and Tycho sitting around trying to figure out what to make the comic about.
Well, that's what they have to do, unless they're going to do Gabe and Tycho, the audio drama.
Yeah. So, realize before we do the podcast every day, we spend like 20 minutes talking about the news and what to talk about on the show and all that
Yeah,
sort
it usually
of stuff.
goes along the lines of, hey, Rim, how about this news, blah, blah, blah. Rim, I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah. Well, how about this news? I don't know anything about that. Let me read it.
Hey, Scott, what was your news? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. I came up with it 5 minutes ago. What do you want from me? I forgot to delicious it, and I forgot to dig it, so it's gone.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, if you guys want us to do that once or twice, just tell us in the forums and we'll do it.
Yeah,
it's really no skin off my back.
We'll do it once. It's not going to be every day.
It's not the most exciting thing.
No, it's not.
Though, actually, for people who know us, at least can verify this fact, when we stop recording the show, we pretty much keep talking at about the same rate and about the same topics we were talking about on the show.
Well, usually after we record the podcast, we go to our separate rooms, so it's sort of like intermittent. Like, someone has to have something important enough to walk down the hall to say.
If we had recorders that only recorded when both of us were in the same room at the same time, Geeknights could go 12 hours a day.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Anyway, in actual news...
So, when Windows Vista was announced years ago, well, let's see, XP, when did XP come out? 2002?
I don't remember.
I think in 2002. Oh, because it came out in 2002 because a year later was Server 2003.
2003 came out, I think, in 2004, actually.
Did it really?
Right on the edge, because we got 2003 Server new at IBM, where I worked not too long ago.
Regardless, it's been at least 3 years since the last Windows. And if you know, there's usually 2 years between Windowses because, well, 98, 2000.
Windows 95, Windows 97, which was renamed Windows 98 after it was delayed.
Yeah, so Vista was originally supposed to come out in like 2005, something like that, maybe. I don't remember. It was delayed, and everyone was expecting it to come out in 2006. That's sometime this year. Was the expected date.
You know what? If it's going to come out this year, then so is, let's see, the PlayStation 3, Duke Nukem Forever. See a trend here?
It was officially today delayed until 2007.
Ha ha!
Yeah, you know what? Since I don't want it to ever exist, and I don't want anyone to ever use it.
No, I want it to exist. I want it to come.
Maybe.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
No, I really am.
All right.
No, not really. You want to know why?
Why?
Honestly, if Windows Vista is half as horrible, DRM encrusted, and just bad and power hungry, even half as much as they've been claiming it's going to be, it's going to be nothing more than punishment meted upon those who decide to use it.
See, here's the funny thing about it, right? Originally, they were like, oh no, we're going to have to cut out these features to prevent delays, right? Meanwhile, now they're delaying, and they still haven't added the features back in.
Huh.
It's like, remember they said, okay, we're going to do this WinFS thing. It's like, no, we're not. We're going to do this other thing. No, we're not.
See, WinFS was the one thing I was actually interested in seeing.
All it is, WinFS is something you can do.
Yeah, wasn't it just metadata on top of NTFS or something like that?
No, NTFS is your file system.
Yeah.
But in your operating system somewhere, there's a database, like an SQL database, that stores all sorts of information about your files and things. So that it's sort of like a little Google. It's like Google Desktop basically, but lower level. Like if Google Desktop was part of the operating system, the same way Internet Explorer is part of the operating system. It's like
but no, we're not getting anything.
Nope, you're not getting any of the features, and you have to wait longer.
And we're still getting all the DRM. They're making sure that's all there.
Yep. All right, so last week, I think I talked about the Apple France deal.
Well, you think you know. We just looked it up before we did the show here.
Yeah, we did. Basically, the story was, in case you missed it, in France, they were going to make a law that says you can't, sell MP3s that are locked in. Well, it's a broader reaching law than that.
Basically, it says that iTunes has to sell unencumbered MP3s in addition to everything else.
Or it has to they can keep selling their little, DRM'd files, but they have to allow all the other players to play them.
Yep. Basically, in some way, they have to open it up so that any device can listen to iTunes music, so that you're not locked into an iPod.
Exactly. So you realize that Apple makes all its money because the iTunes Music Store is pretty much the best music store for people who like to pay for their music and who like, hit music from record companies and such.
Well, I'd sense a little dislike.
Yeah. But if you use iTunes, the only really way you can bring that music around the world with you is with an iPod because it's locked in. And
now,
France is going to say you can't do that.
Yeah, claiming all sorts of anti-monopoly, antitrust.
So everyone was hoping that France would really do it, and the Assembly voted 296 to 193 to approve the bill. Well, now everyone thinks Apple, rather than caving in and, complying with the law, is just not going to do business in France. No iTunes Music Store for the French people.
Yeah, and you know what? That's great.
That's really terrific.
I mean, that's international law and commerce and everything all coming together. You voted for it, you got it.
Yep. Awesome. Very awesome.
So we'll see what actually happens with this. We'll keep you all posted, though you can obviously read Fark or Slashdot or Dig or anything to find out what's going on there.
Yeah, see, basically what it comes down to is that the French market isn't really worth that much money. And if it was a bigger market, like the U.S. that did this, then Apple might cave in or do something about it. But because it's just little old France, they don't care.
Plus, I mean, it's French citizens could probably still use iTunes just by accessing it through various proxies or overseas or anything. They just couldn't officially do business in France anymore if they decided to not comply, which there's no way on earth they would actually comply. That would kill them.
Yeah, if they complied with this, then people would be like getting French credit cards and buying music from the French store and getting all these hacked players. And France would become like the territory of like 1 million MP3 distribution sites. And
even though Sweden's where it's at.
Yeah, Sweden is where it's at.
All right, it's time for Things of the Day. Now, my thing, and I discovered this, well, I discovered it a little while ago, and I just kind of forgot about it. For some reason, I ended up at the site again, and I was looking through it, and I realized just how full-featured and well done it is. Now, someone out there has created a Mario World world editor, meaning you can take Super Mario World, as in the SNES Mario game, and make your own levels for it.
Awesome.
Like, right down to changing sprites, changing everything, changing the overworld, making an entirely new game.
Can you play those levels?
Yes, you can make patches that you then apply to the ROM and then play the ROM.
Awesome.
Now, you're really not going to be able to play this on an SNES unless you have one of those old, Lick-Sang, hard-to-find SNES flash carts from back in the day.
Wow. I didn't even know those things existed.
There's all sorts of things like that. Mostly they were ROM dumpers.
Yeah, I didn't know that there were flash carts for all these things. I knew there were ROM dumpers, but in those days there was no internet. It was hard to get those sorts of things.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of people had ROM dumpers. At least enough people had ROM dumpers to dump all those ROMs.
Yep. True. Of course, I think it was really like 5 guys dumping all of them.
I could see that.
It was the internet that propagated them.
I considered buying one a long time ago, before there weren't so many ROMs easy to find, and I had some games I wanted to make ROMs of. And then, the internet exploded, and that was the end of that.
Yep.
But, I mean, check this thing out. It's really, really full-featured. Just look at the screenshots and see some of the examples he's made. He's made entire overworlds. He made an entire demo game to show how powerful it is.
We should download that game and play it.
We should make a Geeknight Brothers.
Put the sprites of you and me. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that won't be that fun.
No, it wouldn't.
All right, anyway. I got 2 things of the day here, because one I thought I did, but I didn't. And combined, I think they're kind of silly. And they're really similar also.
Yeah. They're well done. They're just not that engaging.
Yeah, they're not so funny. Like, you might get a little chuckle out of them. But they're really high. Well, it's not high production value as in money, but they put a lot of effort into it. The first one is a video on College Humor of some kids walking through the park, and then Final Fantasy happens. That's pretty much it.
It's really well done.
Like, they tried really hard, and they used special effects, and everything is really slick, and it doesn't look like 2 kids in a camera kind of movie. It looks like they tried, like, for a school project, but a high-quality, important school project. The other one is this guy dressed up as Link, going around doing Link things around town. But when he does the Link things, they make the Link sound effects, and it's kind of funny. Like, when he uses the shovel, and it sounds like shoveling, and, he spins around with the sword, and it sounds like spinning sword, and...
Yeah. Our things are a little weak today.
Yeah, the internet is in a little rut right now.
Yeah, I mean, I saw things I could have used, but they're things you'll see on BB Spot or FARC anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not going to send you to a YTMND.
Why don't we make our own YTMND?
Oh my god, no thing of the day today. What the fuck? You're the man now, dog.
So, it being Tuesday and video game day, we're gonna go back to the standard format here and review 2 games.
The 2 games we bought most recently on a trip to GameStop. Or was it? It was actually 2 separate trips to GameStop.
Yeah, I actually didn't buy Princess Peach until recently.
Well, it wasn't out the first time we went, I don't think.
So anyway, as you might have gathered, we're going to talk about the Megaman X Collection, which Scott has been playing, and Princess Peach, which I have been playing. You want to start here?
Oh, yeah, sure. All right. So, if you don't know, Mega Man is not Mega Man X, whatever Tycho would have you believe.
So it's not Mega Man 10?
No, it's not. Mega Man X is not Mega Man 10. You see, in between Mega Man 5, around the time Mega Man 5 came out, and before Mega Man 6 came out, they released a game for the Super Nintendo called Mega Man X. The character in the game looked a lot like Mega Man, but he was not Mega Man. He was a distant future robot that was somehow related to Mega Man, but not Mega Man himself.
See, as far as I'm concerned, it's a blue guy who shoots pellets out of a gun arm and fights robot masters. It's Mega Man.
Oh, see, the thing is, in Mega Man, the robot masters are always something man.
Now they're something animal.
They're something animal, usually adjective animal.
The Flaming Stag is currently my favorite.
Yeah, Flaming Stag's a good one. So, the Mega Man collection, they released it a while ago, has like Mega Man's 1 through 8 on a single disc. And it was kind of annoying in that one, because you couldn't configure the controls. So, like, it was backwards, basically. A and B were not the right buttons, so it was hard to play. But the Mega Man X collection fixes that problem, and it gathers Mega Man X1 through Mega Man X6 for $30 on a single disc. And you can configure the buttons however you want, because you could configure the buttons in the original games anyway. And one advantage of this versus the original is that you don't have to remember passwords to save your game. When it gets to the password screen, you say save, and it'll save the passwords essentially.
But the password's still there, so if you have the original game, you could just, pop that password in.
Of course. I mean, if they made a Metroid game, if they tried to remake the original Metroid...
I couldn't type Justin Bailey?
Exactly. That's what it's about.
Or Kid Icarus, Icarus Fights Medusa Angel?
Yep. So the passwords are still there, but you just save them to save yourself a lot of effort. And you can have, 3 save slots per Mega Man X game, which is really cool.
Ah.
So there's a total of 18 save slots, which is wicked awesome.
Now, I'd like to preface Scott's discussion of this game by noting that I have sat in the room with him through much of the time he has spent playing these games. And he has done nothing but yell at the screen and bitch and complain about them the entire time, but yet he swears he loves them.
Well, because the thing is, it's hard. It's like back in the day when you're a little kid and, you couldn't beat games because maybe you didn't have the skill or maybe because they actually were really hard. Well, Mega Man X is really hard. The other thing is that when I'm playing these games, I'm trying to get everything. I mean, you don't have to get everything. If I just wanted to beat the game and do the minimum effort required to beat the game, I would just fly right through these things. But I'm trying to get every little heart power-up and every weapon and every little secret thing, and I don't want to miss the stuff.
I'll also note that the way you're finding everything is game facts.
Well, you see, the reason for that is if you play a Mega Man game, and sometimes you can figure out which weapon, the order to fight the bosses in. You can figure it out. You're like, oh, I beat the flame guy, and then obviously the flame guy beats the ice guy.
Or the wood guy.
It's obvious. But sometimes in these games, it's not so obvious. And my choices are really to either play these games so much that I figure out the order to beat the guys in and where all these stupid secrets are after like years and years of searching, or just look on game. And the only thing I look on GameFAQs for is what order do I beat the boss in, and where are the major secrets located so I don't have to go hunting for them. That's the only thing I really look for, because it's really not worth my time to figure that out, especially since I'm playing 6 games. If it was one Mega Man X game, then I would probably find it on my own. But 6 games, forget about it. I'm going to look it all up. And the fun is still in me using my platforming Mega Man skills to beat the bosses and fight the bad guys and avoid the spiky traps and all that good stuff that Mega Man's all about. Anyway, the first 3 games are Mega Man X 1, 2, and 3. And I got to say, it's $30, and it's just worth $30 right away because Mega Man X3 is a super rare game that's worth at least $20. So you're getting that and 5 other games. You can't really turn this down based on that alone. All right. Now, the first 3 games are SNES games, and the second 3 games are PlayStation games, which are kind of different and crazier, and there's a lot more stuff going on. But basically, Mega Man X is like the same thing as Mega Man, but like advanced. It's like the difference between like Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter Alpha, where all the guys are bigger and crazier, and it was like,
So I got to admit, I never really liked any of the Mega Man games.
You suck.
The only ones I ever owned were Mega Man 2 and Mega Man 3.
Yeah, those are the best ones. But Mega Man X is also... Mega Man X is the first Mega Man X is probably the 3rd best one.
See, watching you sit there and for at least 15 minutes jump back and forth trying to get up one ledge to get to one secret, failing over and over and over and over
Those
and over
are
again.
Unnecessary secrets. That's only because I'm going for the extra hard stuff.
Yeah, but just watching that was frustrating enough, let alone playing
That's because it's hard. See, there's a difference between tedious and hard. Tedious is like World of Warcraft. You don't actually... It's not hard. You just have to click the thing 1,000 times, and then you get it. This, you could get it in one try if you had mad skills. There's nothing tedious about it. It's just, it's hard, so you don't get it in one try. You have to keep trying until you get it.
I guess for me, it's well beyond my risk-reward curve. The risk and
then
the
you would
time
just skip
spent...
over those secrets and just beat the game.
Nah, I don't think I even get that far.
But you won't. If you just try to beat the game and you're not trying to get annoying secrets or do dangerous stunts and things, you could just walk right through the game. You wouldn't have to redo a single step. Unless, of course, you died frequently because you sucked. I mean, the fact that you see me doing those things over and over again is because my skill is somewhere in between complete schmuck and God of Gods. The fact, because if I was a complete schmuck, every time I tried to get a secret, I would die. I would be like dead. I'd fall on spikes or something, and I'd have to do the whole level again. The fact that I can stay in one spot without dying, trying to get the secret over and over again, is because I'm good enough. If you're the god, you just get the secret on the first try and keep going. But that's how the game is. If you don't have a lot of platforming skills, you probably won't like Mega Man X. But if you want to get platforming skills, play Mega Man X, because you'll get lots and lots of platforming skills.
I'd say just play the original Mega Man games instead.
Well, you can play those too, but Mega Man X has a lot of cool, extra, more fun stuff, especially if you're someone who likes newer games. Like, you can slide on walls and kick off of them, and you can charge up the gun better, And there's all kinds of special moves. It's generally a more advanced game overall.
Uh-huh.
A lot less rough around the edges, a lot more abilities of Mega Man, a lot more complex levels, and it's harder, typically.
So for a number of reasons, I picked up Super Princess Peach here for the Nintendo DS.
I was going to get it.
Yeah.
But then you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
So I guess I can't get it.
Now, if I had one thing to say about this game, if I had to encapsulate it in one word and one word alone, that word would be pink.
I thought the word would be cute.
I don't know. I think pink is starting to edge out cute.
Oh, wow, because I'm more in it for the cute than the pink.
Don't worry, there's a lot of cute.
All right.
This game is the game so far. I've only gotten a little bit into the game. I'm in the Boo House, which is like
you can't. That's the best part of the game. It's a Boo House.
It's like the third board of the game.
Woo! Go
It's
Boos.
set up kind of like Mario World, except you don't really get to pick where you're going. Everything's very linear, and it started out very easy, like painfully easy, like easier than I would ever expect even a Nintendo game made for kids to be. But the difficulty has been increasing at a steady rate, and I have high hopes for the end of the game.
That's kind of surprising. I figured it would stay relatively easy. I mean...
Well, let me put it this way. It got to a part that looked like all right, there's no way to die here. No matter what, you'll make it through. And you know what? I died. I don't die often, but I have died in this game.
Maybe that's just because you're no good.
No, it was an area that looked like... All right, it's an area where you discover that there's lines, and if you have your umbrella, you can jump and then like ride in the umbrella upside down hanging from the lines. And you can jump up while you're riding, and you have to catch the lines as they're going and avoid enemies and pick up coins, whatever. And it looked like one of those, all right, you can't lose deals, like in the old Guerrilla War game where you go down the minecart track, or the Indiana Jones game where you go down the minecart track. That kind of thing.
Yeah, the minecart tracks.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't. It was very much it's easy to die. You actually have to be really careful and have some decent skills.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the main gimmick of the game, it starts out with a silly, funny yet unavoidable, unskippable opening movie.
Oh, no.
You can't even speed up the text.
Oh, there's no option for, like, text speed fast?
No.
Oh.
And there seems to be some sort of plot, but I don't really care about that. Basically, the princess is out for a walk, and Bowser finds this item, this magic wand. So they send this Goomba to the Mushroom Kingdom to wave the wand around. And apparently it does some magic, and then they catch Mario and Luigi and Toad and take him back. And the princess comes back, finds out that they're gone, and decides to go rescue them. So she takes Perry, her little parasol, puts him over her shoulder, and heads out.
Where's Toadsworth?
He is in jail. Everyone is in jail. Bowser took everyone prisoner.
Even Toadsworth?
Everyone in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Wow.
Except, apparently, the proprietor of the mushroom shop where I go purchase better umbrellas.
But I thought your umbrella was, like, actually a living umbrella, Perry.
Oh, it is. I'm not sure what I'm purchasing, but they add powers to Perry.
Oh, so it doesn't actually replace him. It just upgrades him.
Now, gameplay-wise, the gimmick is that the princess can be, and this is kind of sexist, but it's funny, in any of 4 moods, and you can choose a mood on the touchscreen at any given time. But as you're in a mood, depending on how you're using that mood, you have a mood meter, or a vibe meter, they call it vibe, that slowly goes down, and when it hits 0, you can't go into any mood, and you're just normal Princess Peach. Normal Princess Peach is just kind of wide-eyed, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Now, there's joy, rage, gloom, and calm, because apparently, according to Nintendo, these are the only 4 emotions that a female can ever attain.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they each have powers, and I've got to say right now, the best part of this game, hands down, no matter what I find at the end, is the joy power. Because when she is joyful, she flies. All right, no big deal. You hold down A and she starts floating up. Now, if you hold down A and start floating up, and then you let go, and coupled with the little animation of her flailing her arms around and smiling, it's probably the cutest thing I've ever seen in a video game ever.
Yeah, because the princess really isn't that cute, so I know the game must cutify her a lot.
Oh, it does. Like, if you put her in angry mode, she, like, furrows her brow and frumps a bit, and then she starts stomping around on fire.
On fire.
On fire. If you make her sad, her tears, basically a Niagara Falls of tears, flies out from her face in all directions.
It sounds a lot like Wario Land 2.
It's a lot like Wario games in that you have life, and you can die, though. But if you die, you just have to redo whatever stage you're on.
Yeah, only Wario 1, which is more like Mario Land 3, actually was Mario Land 3. Could you die? Starting with Wario Land 2, you couldn't die.
I'm pretty sure you could die in the second Wario game for the Game Boy.
No, you couldn't.
I'm pretty sure you could. I've got it.
Nope, I'm 100% sure. Wario Land 2, you could not die.
All right. Well, we'll have to verify that later
Mhm.
because I've got the game laying around somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, because that's the best one.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. But no, in those games, Wario would like if he got bit by a bat, he would turn into a vampire, and then if he ate a cake, he would get fat, and if he set on fire, he would get fiery. And you could get all these different things, but you couldn't do them by just choosing them. You had to go to the right spot to get them, and then you would need that power to continue to a certain area.
Yeah. Now, the game, I mean, it's just a typical platformer. The puzzles are laughably simple at first, and they don't seem to get any more difficult. The boss fights are actually kind of interesting. The only problem is they tell you how to beat the boss before every boss.
Even the end boss?
I haven't gotten that far.
No, okay.
But so far, every boss, I've had a little information block that I hit, and it always tells me, oh, if you fill him with water and then ground pound him, haha.
Oh, well, that's how you beat the first boss in Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, it's a giant Petey the Piranha.
Yep, what's the boss that you fill with water and ground pound in Princess Peach?
That's it. Same guy.
It's also Petey the Piranha?
Yes, it
And
is.
You beat him the same way?
You beat him the same way.
Couldn't they think up something new?
And then after you beat him, the toad that he's eaten pops out.
Uh-huh. He ate a toad?
Now, the one thing about this game, other than that, is that the princess has the 4 moods, right? These moods or vibes are, I guess, central to this game. Because you run into Goombas, standard Goombas, but any Goomba you run into is going to be in one of these 4 moods. So the joyful Goomba is just kind of like walking around singing a song to himself all happy.
Wait, I think I figured out what happened. That
Yeah.
Goomba that waved the magic wand,
Yeah.
that was like the estrogen wand, right? Is that what it was? Is that what Nintendo's trying to tell us?
What happens is it's the vibe wand.
Ah, so I was right.
And he waves it around in the Mushroom Kingdom, and everyone gets all screwed up. And as a result of that, Bowser can just walk over and capture everyone.
Well, everyone's freaking crying, laughing, and flying and stuff.
So the Goomba comes back, and then he just decides to make some mischief and waves it around in Bowser's Kingdom too.
Oh.
So you'll be walking around, and there's a happy Goomba, and you kill him. And then you see a sad Goomba, and he's just running back and forth, crying hysterically, and you kill him. Or you see an angry
kill them
Goomba.
no matter what their
You
mood
kill
is?
everything. This game's kind of horrible in that regard.
Even the happy Goombas? Won't the happy Goombas leave you alone because they're so happy?
They will, but if you run into them, it still hurts. I guess Goombas are poisonous.
Oh, so you freaking kill everyone.
But I mean, the game gets to the point where at one point there's these happy flowers, like happy singing cartoon flowers.
Piranha flowers or
No,
normal?
just normal flowers.
All right.
And the only way to progress is to hit them so that all of their petals fall off, and now they're sad, crying flowers.
What is the explanation for this?
The explanation for this is fucking flowers. I hate them. I don't know. You kill
Wow.
flowers. The game is very fun for a little kid, but it's fun for someone like us because you play the game and you're this cute princess in this cute world, but you're wreaking death and destruction with every step you take.
Awesome. Where's Mario?
Mario is in Bowser's dungeon.
Oh, right. With everyone else.
Yeah, and so is Toad and Luigi, and I assume everyone else.
Are they making sangria and turlet?
Of course.
Awesome. Are they crying also, or is it...
Luigi was crying, Toad was bawling, and Mario just has this sad look on his face.
Luigi's always crying.
Yeah, Luigi.
Luigi.
It's me, Mario.
Luigi. All right.
Now, I guess I'll talk about the game again when I beat it and if it actually gets more difficult, but I gotta say, I wouldn't rush out to buy this game. It's definitely not worth paying full price for the day it comes out. However, if you want a DS game to play, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I don't know what else I can say about it.
I can say that what you should probably do is
Whee!
wait till the end of this month and buy Tetris DS and Metroid Hunters, and then in a couple months when there's a drought of DS games, go get this one for $20 or $25.
You know what's really funny, though? I bought this, and I was going to buy it new. Went to the GameStop, and I bought Princess Peach. And I didn't even go over to the area where the games were. I just walked up and said, give me a copy of Princess Peach. So he walks over to the used game area, picks a game up, and comes back over and says, here, I gave you this used copy of Princess Peach. Someone bought it and brought it back 2 days later.
I wonder why they did that.
I don't know. It was in mint condition.
Oh, good.
There wasn't even a save game on it or anything.
Might as well not be used then.
Yeah, so I saved $5.
That's right. Someone bought it and brought it to someone, and then the person was like, oh, maybe they bought it as a gift for someone who didn't have a DS, or maybe they bought it for someone who didn't want it, or who knows.
Yeah, well, if that was the case, they could have just returned it. This means that someone opened it, played it, and then took it back.
No, because they might have opened it, and then...
Yeah, they opened it at least.
Yeah. Then you had to sell it back. You can't really return
Hey, it saves me $5, and GameStop made a bunch of money off that.
Yeah, GameStop made a lot of money off that. They sold the same thing twice. So they profit like a few bucks when they sell it, and then they buy it back for, like $10, and then they sell it, get 15 more bucks, $25.
Yeah, they sold it for 30 used.
Wow. Okay.
It was 35 new.
Wow, yeah. They made a lot of money.
So I'm dividing my time currently between Princess Peach and the last chapter of Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, finish at Phoenix Wright, which is, if you didn't know, everyone, Phoenix Wright, supposedly tomorrow, which it could be today if you're listening on Tuesday, Wednesday, they're supposedly reshipping new copies of Phoenix Wright to game stores everywhere. So check your local game stores if you don't have Phoenix Wright. It could be there.
It's about frickin' time.
Yeah, and now they freaking realize it's popular. Give us some more damn Phoenix Wright. God
yeah,
damn it.
I want every Phoenix Wright that was ever released ever in the world to come on my DS.
I want absolutely every Phoenix Wright ever.
And then, as soon as I beat the last one, I want a new one.
I want Phoenix Wright constantly. I want so much Phoenix Wright that I could keep buying new Phoenix Wright without having a break. I would always currently be in a Phoenix Wright episode.
I hate to use an old inside joke, but I have a vision. I have a vision.
Oh, he has a vision. Is it a row of poison mushrooms?
No. This is a vision of Phoenix Wright on the Revolution where I can take that baton and point my goddamn finger at a prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, we'll probably have that.
And with the microphone, I can yell. Of course, you can do that in the DS version. Mm-hmm. I don't. Mainly because people on the train would probably not be too pleased with me.
You know what they really need? They need Phoenix Wright where it's you versus someone else, and you don't know who's going to win.
That'd be tough to do.
It would be tough to do, but I think it could be done. And it would be awesome. Like, choose your lawyer. Like a fighting game.
Or they just give you random cases, and there's or they give you random testimonies, and there's contradictions all over, and it's just a race to see who finds the most contradictions or beats the other guy or something.
Well, maybe what you want to do is you want to find the contradictions that help you but don't help the other guy.
Yeah, because Phoenix Wright, it's very linear currently, and there's a lot of times where you'll bark down the wrong path, and it ends up helping the other guy, but that's part of the script. You really can't avoid it.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright is just a linear
Because a lot of times I'm playing Phoenix Wright, and I'll think, I don't want to talk about this thing because that's bad for my client. Oh, but I have to talk about it or the game won't progress. Crap.
Yeah, it's pretty much every testimony is a circle, and then you find the way to use evidence and the press button to break out of the circle into the next circle of testimony. And eventually you just get through the whole game. Most
of what the game's got going for it is just the hilariousness of it.
That's what it's all about. It's like watching a really good anime about awesome lawyering, but
not a really good anime, a completely silly anime.
It's fantastic. If it was an anime, I would watch every episode.
You know what? I would too.
Yeah, so there you go. But at the same time, you're pushing buttons and figuring out which evidence to use to make the anime continue.
Yeah, there's also a decent game there.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say,
Carmen Sandiego style.
Every now and then I'd get stuck. Like I'd be sitting there watching the video of a murder over and over again, thinking, all right, I'm stuck. I can't, what the hell? And then you notice something, and when you find that little piece of evidence that you needed, or you figure it out, and you point your finger and yell, it's a great feeling.
Yep. Unless the judge yells at you, then you did wrong.
Wow, yeah. You know, Phoenix Wright must be a good game if we keep going back to it when we're trying to talk about other games.
It's like this weird, it's like, I don't know what it is about this game, but it's not like a crazy hit that everyone's talking about. But at the same time, everyone's in on it. Like, you keep seeing Phoenix Wright references all over the internet. And you keep seeing people making Phoenix Wright jokes and people saying, Phoenix Wright, ooh, on blogs and stuff. But you don't see it in video game magazines. You don't see it on TV. You know. It's sort of like this underground mega hit.
Well, I got to say, when I was in Katsukan, I was playing Phoenix Wright, and someone came over and they asked me what game I was playing. And I said, Phoenix Wright. He said, what, that lawyer game? That sounded stupid. And I just said, here, you play it. And I let him play the first mission a little bit, and he was sold. He tried to buy it, like, that day.
I think we already talked about Phoenix Wright enough. I think, didn't we do an episode about Phoenix Wright?
I think we did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, Mega Man X is cool.
Super Princess Peach is more fun than you'd expect and cuter than you can imagine.
And later this month, we'll definitely have some Tetris and Metroid going on full force.
Yeah, I'm really kind of excited about Metroid.
I'm excited about Tetris.
I played Tetris, and you know what? It's Tetris.
That's exactly what I want. Hells yes.
It's also got other stuff in it, but the Tetris part alone is enough.
Internet Tetris. That
Now,
people will actually play with me because no one wants to play Tetranet for some reason.
the genius of this is that Nintendo is selling a game. They're selling basically just Tetris. It's got bells and whistles, but it's Tetris for $35, and we're all going to buy it again.
Well, we bought it was that Nintendo made its first huge cash monies on the Game Boy Tetris. I mean, that's how the Game Boy beat the Game Gear, Tetris.
Yep. Well,
that's
also
how-
cheaper price, longer battery life, better games,
You know,
more
and that's how they
games.
shut out Tengen with a good Tetris as opposed to shitty Tengen Tetris.
Yep.
And now they're going to shut out everyone else again by putting Tetris in the DS. They could put you put Tetris on your system, you win. That's how it works. Notice how no other system has had Tetris except Nintendo systems and computers and arcade machines.
Nah. Those crazy Japanese Tetris machines.
Oh God, I want to play one of those just to see.
Yeah, we had that video way back. I don't think we were even doing Geeknights when we found that video.
No, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a video of this guy playing Tetris on, like, you know, if you see Dance Dance Revolution, the crazy Super Oni whatever challenge crap crazy mode, and there's like the crazy lead guy doing it with a perfect, perfect every step, or a marvelous every step. Imagine that, only it's Tetris.
And he's playing some crazy, like, Tetris Revolution number 7 in some Japanese arcade, which is like this ultra version of Tetris.
It looks like The Legend of Max, only it's Tetris.
Yeah, it's got all sorts of Tetris features, and it's super fast. And
there's a crowd around this guy yelling and screaming.
I didn't think there was a crowd. I thought the guy was alone. It didn't sound...
There were people there.
I don't think there was a crowd. There was a guy videotaping, obviously.
I think it was part of a tournament.
It didn't look like it to me. It looked like a guy in some schmucky arcade. Maybe
No.
we'll have to go find it again.
We should. It'll be a thing of the day next week.
If we can find it again.
It's got to be out there on Google Video somewhere.
It has to be.
And that was Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for our opening theme.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com. If you like our podcasts, you'll love our forums. Make sure you visit them. You can send your email feedback to geeknights@gmail.com. And if you want, you can leave us a voicemail at 206-333-1537.
Geeknights airs every weeknight, Monday through Thursday.
Geeknights is recorded with absolutely no studio and no audience. But unlike those other talk shows, it's actually recorded at night.